I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator in the UK. I've been doing this for about 6 years, mainly in person, and then like everyone else in the last sort of year, 6 months, had to swap and took a very brave step for me and decided to do YouTube videos. So I'm really grateful for you joining me today. I welcome any comments or any feedbacks. What are we doing today? Well, there's a lovely new catalogue. Have you all got yours? Mine is well thumbed. You can see my post-it notes sticking out for today. We're going to be using several of the things from the new catalogue. A little bit of the Pansy Petals stamp set. Mainly just one of the sentiments actually, but I really like it when a stamp set has 2 different fonts. I think the papers are really pretty. Lots of ginghams and stripes and a few spots, and then really florally on the other side. So we're going to use one of the ones with a very small print and some gingham. I think it's in Fresh Freesia. And we're also going to be using this new punch, Flowers and Leaves. Now, if you haven't got this, I would add it to your list because you will find all sorts of uses for it. If you've got a very plain card, it will just instantly lift it. So what are we making today? We're going to be making this card. I'm just going to put the measurements to the side here so that you've got those ready. It's a very simple, quick make, but it allows you to use both sides of the DSP, which I really struggle with. There's always such beautiful papers with Stampin' Up, and which side do you use? So this is great for me because we get to use both sides. It's a little bit different because it's triangles, but don't panic, we'll go through it together. The sentiment, like I said, is from the Pansy patch, and then as you can see, I've used the punch here just to make the flowers and the leaves. You can layer these in so many different combinations, and there is a stamp set that comes with this where you can have the outline of the flowers on as well. But as you can see, you can equally just use it like this, and you can fluff your flowers up however much you want to, or even if you don't. This card opens like this, but equally it would work just as well this way round with the sentiment just twisted round. The ribbon, I had to use the ribbon. It's the most gorgeous ribbon. I don't know if you've seen this, the open weave ribbon, just trying to find the end. It's really glitzy. It's got like a really nice shimmer on it. Hopefully you're seeing that on camera. And that comes in all the in colours as well. So I decided to concentrate on the in colours just because they're new, and we don't really need an excuse to play with something new, do we? But the main colour that I've used is Fresh Freesia, which is this one here, and it's got some of the pale papaya on as well. Getting all tongue-tied now. But I really have been playing a lot with the greens, just because they go so nice together, and it's really nice to have a pink. So give me a shout and let me know what you like. So let's get started. I'm going to move this out the way now, and I'm going to bring in my sheet of card. So my base card is made from an A4 sheet that I've just cut in half. So this should measure 4 1/8 of an inch. It's just slightly bigger. Is that worth cutting that off? It's just a fraction bigger. Okay. And it should be 11.5 inches long ways for an A4. Sometimes they're a teeny weeny bit bigger, like this one. So I'm just going to cut that piece off, 11.5, and then on the long side we're going to score it at 5 3/4. 5 3/4. So push your cutting blade out the way and just score it. And then if you give it a quick fold and just have a look, does it meet? Yeah, if it doesn't, just trim it slightly, ever so slightly, and that will meet in the bottom. So you've got your base card. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put a layer on the top. Now on my original card I put a white layer, but this time I think I'm going to do a fresh freesia layer. So I've got a spare bit of card here, and the size that I need for that is 5.5 by 3 7/8. So 3 7/8. Oh, that's my scorer. I need my cutter. 3 7/8 by 5.5, and that will go on the front. I'll just move those out the way, and I'm just going to check it before I do anything else that it fits nicely on the front. I'm not going to glue it down, just put that to one side again. Now I need to concentrate on my designer series paper. You just need one rectangle of it, as long as it's two-sided. And this needs to be 5.25 by 3 5/8. So I'm going to cut it off at 3 5/8 all the way down, and then it's 5.25. Okay, and that gives me a piece that will layer on there. Just checking it with my eye. Yep, it all looks good. Now you could just finish the card like that, quite easy, but we want to add a bit of detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it into triangles. Now an easy way to do that is to put the point here on your cutting line and the point here. Okay, just make sure it's in the middle. Put your cutting blade in the middle and cut up and then down, and that stops you denting in the corners of your paper. So I'm going to turn that round, and I need to do the other diagonal. Now you could, if you're brave, twist it around and do it, but I'm going to get a bit of washi tape. I'm just going to stick it to me to take off some of the stickiness. And now I'm going to stick it together, but away from where I'm going to cut, like so. Spin it round and do the other way. Okay, like so. And again, I'm going to make sure the cutting blade's in the middle, press down and cut up and cut down. And I've now got some triangles. So if I bring this back over to here, now I'm going to place my triangles as they are on my trimmer, like this. And then I'm going to decide which two I want to turn over. So I'm just going to take that off. Do I want these two turned over like that? That's quite pretty. Or do I want the other ones? I think I might do the opposite, like this, because my first card was the other way round. So I'm going to do it like that. Now while they're sort of in place, I'm going to take my glue, and what I'm aiming for, I'm going to put some glue on that side, and I'm just going to leave a little edge around a little frame here. Okay, so I'm going to glue that one on first. Oh, there's a little bubble of glue. And I'm doing it with Tombow because I can wiggle it around a bit. Okay, so I'm just doing it by eye. If something terrible happens and your triangles are slightly off shape in the middle, don't worry, because you're going to be covering it anyway. I think I'm going to do the opposite one. I don't know that there's a right and wrong way. I'm just going for it. Okay, let's move that one out. Just trying to make sure that that's point to point. Although, like I say, don't worry, because you're going to cover it up. Make sure you're putting glue on the right side of this one, and that will go there. Just bring it in a bit so there's a bit of a frame. Can you see it automatically leaves a frame down the sides? And then I'll do this last bit. Here. Oh, stuck to my finger. Okay. And then when you've done that one, you can take a breath. Okay. So that essentially is your card front. So you're just going to stick that straight on there. So, and the glue's running out. Okay, so that's just going to go on the front of there. I'm just going to make it so that it's just central, and that is my card. So all I've got left to do now is the front piece and also the inside piece. So I've already cut a stitched rectangle to go in the middle, just because I like to have something on the inside as well. I've got some scraps of paper as well, so I might put, oh look, that looks almost like it was meant to be. Let's put that on there as well. Oh, I should have put that. No. This is what I mean. Two-sided paper is not good, is it? Which side should you stick? So I'm just going to put that in there. Now this is going to be where my personal message is going to go. So I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside, but I still want it to look nice. If you're putting all this time and effort in, finish it off inside as well, and also the envelope. Okay, so that's just a bit of fluffing on my part. So that's the inside, that's the outside. Now let's concentrate on this sentiment. So I've got a punch that I've brought through, or maybe I didn't. Let me just whip and get that punch. Okay, so I'm going to use a piece of fresh freeze gel that I've got left over. I'm going to cut one in that colour, and then I'm going to cut one in the white as well. Should I stamp it first? No, it'd be fine. Normally I would stamp it first. Okay, so I'm looking for that sentiment that I was telling you about, and also the green ink. Oh, I did forget that as well. Hang on. So this ink is soft succulent. Okay. Just going to put that on there. It's a really nice, delicate font, like that. Can you see that? It's really pretty. A little bit curvy, but a little bit nice. Now, if I just put that straight on there, you're not going to see it. So what I like to do is cut this in half diagonally, like so. I'm going to put a bit of double-sided tape on the back of my sentiment here, just on there. And if I put those back together, let's do this one first. Hopefully you can see this. So I'm putting it a little bit away from the edge, like that. Can you see it's like a frame? And then I do the same with this side. So it's just slightly away from it. And although there's a little gap there and there, I can cover that with my flowers when I put it on. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ribbon on. And I don't want to do a bow because it's too stressful to do a bow. So we're going to do that way round as well. Yeah. Okay. If you can hear that noise, we've got two little kittens. And whenever you get the craft stuff out, they want to craft. And I shut them out because I was filming. So this is going to be like a Z. So I will show you what I mean in a minute. Rosie, you have to bib bib. Get down. That's it. Like that. So can you see it's like a backward Z? But if I turn it over, it's very pretty, this ribbon. So I'm just going to chop that off there. That's going to go like that. But I might put it round this way round this time. Okay, and I'm going to use some dimensionals. Let's hope I put them through. Yep. To place it on the back so that they will give it a bit more depth, a little bit of 3D. Okay, so I'm going to put that on. Nearly there. Oh, one more. Okay, make sure I put it the right way round, like so. And then I'm going to use the flower punch. Let's move some of this out of the way. And I've got some spare bits of card, green for the leaves. There's two size leaves, so I'm going to do this size. There's one. It's better if you do use little strips or scraps for your punches, because then you're not using you're not wasting a big piece of card. So I'm going to do 3 leaves, I think, and let's do some of these flowers. Oh, that's got a big, it's got a good, nearly went out the window. Last one now. Oh, there you go. Get rid of all those extra bits. And then some of the bigger fresh freesia. These are enough to get 2 out of here. Oh, just. Okay. So what I do with my flowers, I've got an old mouse mat that I just like to press into, just so that it gives them a bit of shape. So use a pin or the end of something, depending on how big. That might be a little bit too small. Let's do this one. So just push down on that and it just shapes the leaves around without you having to put too much pressure on it. I think the big ones need something a bit smaller. Let's do this one instead. You can do it with a pencil or a rubber. All sorts, really. That's better. That's got more of a point. So now I can put a little blob of glue on there, if there's any glue left. A little blob of glue on that one there. And that will allow me to place them where I want them. So I just push that back down. And that one there. Okay. you can use dimensionals or some Tombow glue just to put on the back. Remember, you want to try and cover where your join is on your punched out labels. Okay, there's one that side and one that side. There, and there's another one I'm just going to put, should have 3, shouldn't we? Let's put another one at the side or at the top. Let's have a look. This one hasn't got pink on it. Okay, and my leaves I am just going to fold in half just to give them a bit of shape. Put a bit of glue on the back. So one is going to come out there, like so. That one's going to come out there, sort of tuck it in behind there. And I think this one is just going to go behind there. Okay, and then the finishing touch, I could put some gems in the middle of my flowers, which will make it sparkle, but I'm just going to use my Stampin' Up marker just to do some little dots that look like the stamens on your flowers, just so it finishes the middle off. And that is my card done. So I've got this one this way round, and then the one I made earlier, which was this way round. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that, and please get in touch, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.